Hello everyone, Rurikhan here coming at you with another first impressions video, and today we're going to be taking a look at Contrast. Now Contrast is a title that, I'll be honest, I am not specifically excited about, and the reasoning behind that is because I'm not a big fan of the whole cabaret theme, the whole, the whole art style, and even just the overall setting of the game itself. So I mean, it's going to be very hard for me to actually do a first impressions on this particular title. Now, I've played a little bit of it. I solved a couple of the puzzles. So I'm just going to give you guys some straight up gameplay and tell you my opinions on it. And let's get to that, shall we? I do like the mechanics of the game. Like, I feel the game is very, very solid. It's just the problem for me is I can't get into the setting of the game. I cannot get myself interested and invested in the game and in the story itself. And bear in mind, this is not because this is a bad game. Far from it. I think that this game is actually a pretty solid game, and it looks really, really good. The thing is that, like I said, it's a personal preference kind of thing. Like, for instance, this is the character that you play. This character is Dawn. And Dawn has a special power. Her special power is that she can actually meld into walls that are lit, and she can become a shadow, as you guys can see here. This allows her to climb on top of other shadows, like for instance this. As you can see, I can now climb on top of this. However, you can't go through here. Basically, the shadows become an element of platforming, so to speak. And this kind of gives way to interesting puzzles, from manipulating lights as well as to putting objects in certain sections of the light to achieve different results. Like, for instance, if you guys look at that balcony, there used to be a bonus item there, which I already picked up because I solved the puzzle. But let me just show you guys kind of how that puzzle would work. And this kind of gives you the foundation as to how the gameplay of this particular title works. Now, if you notice here, both this, I'm not exactly sure what the name of this thing is in English. I'm just going to call them umbrellas. So you can see these two umbrellas over here, or sombreros, or whatever the hell you want to call them. And they're casting a pretty big shadow on the wall behind us, right? So if you look over here, you would assume, so I can climb through this chair, but I can't go up because that sombrero thing is there. Okay, very well, let's just go over here. You can close it. And as you can see, this casts, the shadow now allows you to climb over here. And you can hear the clock ticking. It means that the thing is going to go back to its original state. Boom. And now I can keep going. Now the problem is there's another really big shadow here that I can't go over. And that shadow is the shadow of this particular umbrella thingy. So what we're going to do is we're going to close off this one. And we're going to wait a little bit. And now we're going to close off this one. And now let's meld into the wall, or shift into the wall, whatever you want to call it. Now let's jump on top of this one, let's jump through this one, and proceed onward through the platform, and that allows us to get to the place where there was a bonus item. You see what I'm getting at? This is the kind of puzzles that you're going to be solving throughout the title. But it's not just about puzzle solving. There's actually a really meaningful storyline behind this particular title. Now, you're Dawn, and you're the imaginary friend of a character who is a female child, who is called Dee Dee. Now, Dee Dee is seen at the very start of the game interacting with the shadows of her parents. So she's not really interacting with her parents, just with their shadows. I'm not exactly sure what that means because I haven't seen enough of the story to actually figure that out. And I hope that there is no spoilers, because if there is any spoilers in terms of story on this video, you guys don't have to worry about it, because I will make sure to cut those out. Because if there is one thing that is very important to this title, is the story, as well as making sure you pick up every single collectible in the game. And why is picking up the collectibles important? Because the collectibles themselves are going to tell different stories. I'm not really going to allow you to read any of these collectibles, but it is important that you pick them up and read them, because they tell a very important portion of the story, as far as I can tell. They will tell you details about the characters involved in the story, because all of the characters that I've met so far were shadows. None of them was an actual real person apart from Dee Dee. Either way, let's proceed through here. You also have this ability that allows you to break through stuff, which is this. So when you start seeing those things like those signs that say caution, usually means that you can break through them by using this special move. Also allows you to jump a little bit further, as you can tell, gives you somewhat of a boost. Now we're supposed to get to the Excelsior Hotel, which if I'm not mistaken is on the other side of this bridge. So let's see if we can find it. There's also these there's collectibles all over the place. Like, you can see that thing shining over there. That's probably some form of a collectible. But there's probably some stuff over here as well. But either way, let's go and see what that particular collectible is all about. If that even is a collectible. Oh no, that's the microphone. That's actually really cool. But there is the Excelsior Hotel. That is going to be where the next portion of the game is going to start taking place. But just to show you guys another thing, like if you guys go over here and you see the shadow, this is the shadow of Dee Dee's mother, actually. And if you guys notice her feet moving there, that is actually the key to another puzzle. There was another one of those items that you're supposed to pick up that was on top of that balcony. You would have to kind of shift into these shadows and jump on top of her head and then jump on top of her shoes. I just failed that jump, but yeah, that's what you would have to do on that particular puzzle. Let's get in here and see what happens.
Getting pretty loud in there. See? You meet a guy's wife, now he's got a whole new reason to make good. How come you know so much? 'Cause my ma used to smack me every time I didn't know. I should try that with my kids.
I can't get in! The door's locked! I need your help!
So as you can see, there's no actual people in here apart from Dee Dee up there. And as you can see, she just started some kind of fire alarm, which apparently turned on the elevators, and that kind of shifted the shadows around, which is probably going to involve some kind of a puzzle that we will have to go all the way up there. But before we go there, as you can see, that is one of the items that you're supposed to pick up. They call them a lumiere, or whatever that is. And here is another one of the collectibles that I'm going to be picking up. And you can then view collectibles, but I'm not going to show you guys those collectibles. It's just like, look, you can view them here. I just don't want to show them to you because I feel that they might spoil a little bit of the story. And like I said, it is a big deal that the story is not spoiled. You guys have also seen some of those shadow people talking over here. They didn't really provide any spoilers, so I allowed that dialogue to stay. And let's move onwards and see what we have to do to solve this particular puzzle. Now, when it's shining like this and it's yellow instead of blue, it usually means that you're supposed to interact with this, and this will advance the story forward. And here is something else that we can interact with. This is going to allow you to manipulate light and cast shadows to places, which at this point in time, I can't even imagine why I would need shadow on the floor. But let's just interact with this thing and see what happens. Nothing happens. Okay. Well, if I can move this... maybe I'm supposed to go to the other elevator? This just goes lower, it doesn't really do much. How about I push this inside this elevator? To pull up from a ledge. Ah! That means I can actually climb on top of this. Oh, that's new. I did not know that you can climb on top of stuff. That is something we hadn't done yet. Okay. Now then. Ah, so now the elevator moves. Before we go forward, let's see if we can actually find any other collectibles on this floor. It doesn't really look like it. Can we open this door? We can shift in, but we can't really open the door. Aha! Now this is interesting. There's bound to be some way that's going to allow us to put our shadow there. There's some light shining through, but clearly not enough to meld our way in there. We probably have to go from above, because there's a staircase in there. But yeah, as you can see, you're constantly solving puzzles as well as doing platforming. Now then, we've pulled the elevator up, but we can't really go inside it, can we? Not so much. So basically, if we do this, nothing's gonna happen. Okay, so basically we have to find some way to climb up using shadows. That's the only thing I can think of right now. We can't actually go this way. One of the complaints I actually have is about the controls of the game. Like, the character moves so unnaturally fast that sometimes it's a little bit confusing to see how fast she actually moves. 'Cause, I mean, just look at this. She's like a friggin' sprint runner. Am I supposed to go back down now? I honestly do not know. Okay, it looks like there's two objects here that we can actually interact with. What do these do? L to operate a device. Ooh. Okay, this is going to allow us to actually maybe make a platform. Okay, I see where you're going with this. Okay, now let's see this one. Now, I'm not sure I can reach there still, but maybe if I call the elevator back up, because previously I called it back down as I was experimenting to try and solve the puzzle. Let's see what happens with the lights then. Whoa, that is way too much. That is just way too much. We are net. Wait, but maybe we can we still move the objects? Yes, we can. There we go. So now we can actually make a proper platform to take us where we want to go. So let's just leave that there. And let's create another smaller platform here. This will allow us to jump from one platform to the other and then on top. So we can shift here, jump here, then here, and then here, and then we can shift back out and we're in the next floor. This obviously is going to allow us... What's this? Ooh! Fire alarm. Okay, let's see if we can actually find the stairs to go down. Oh, here we go. And this should take us, yep, to the bonus thing that I saw previously. 7 out of 10 luminaries collected. It's not lumières, it's luminaries. Now then, what else can we achieve on this floor? So we did the whole fire escape thing. The fire escape takes the elevator to the very bottom floor. This will bring the elevator all the way up, thus casting a whole bunch of light. Okay, I'm trying to see if I can see any patterns forming. Basically the shadows go up, or is it just me when you pull down the elevator? Okay, this is going to allow us to get this and jump on top here. Okay. That was not too shabby, if I can say so myself. Oops. I did not mean...
Maybe you can sneak in through a window or something, and then you can let me in.
Okay, because I did not want it to actually go to the exit just yet. Obviously, like I said, you should explore every little nook and cranny of this game for collectible items, because I know that I keep repeating myself, but they will matter in terms of story. Trust me, you do not want to miss out on any of them. So this is another one of those fire alarms that is going to take the elevator to the bottom floor. In the meantime, we have the elevator coming all the way up, which is going to cast a couple of shadows, but it doesn't really seem like it's going to do anything that affects the puzzle for our end just now anyways. So let's go outside and have a look-see to what we can find. Okay, like I told you guys, you can break through this using this thing. And again, the problems of three little people.
Why'd you have to come back, Johnny?
I want to come home, Kat.
And you got another pot of gold at the end of the rainbow?
That's the past, Kat. I've changed.
Oh yeah? You get religion?
I got lonely. I miss you, baby. I'm never gonna give you another reason to kick me out, I swear.
Never's a big word. Feels like I heard it before.
This time you're gonna be nothing but proud of me. Look at this hotel suite. I got investors.
The ones who just left? Yeah, I'm real proud. They the ones who broke your finger?
This? It's nothing. I got a caught in a desk drawer, in a door, a car door.
Remember the horse doctor you were gonna fix races with?
That was wrong, Kat. I know that.
And the bar we bought, where your friends didn't have to pay and everyone was your friend.
Well, you gotta cultivate your clients.
Okay, so I actually had to cut out some of that cinematic because there were some pretty huge story spoilers there, so sorry about that. But like I said, story is a big deal to this title, so I definitely do not see it get spoiled for anyone. Either way, we are now back in Dee Dee's room. Let's see what's up with... We got another collectible here. As you guys know, I'm not going to show you the collectibles because, again, they reveal too much story. Let's see how the game's progressing.
It's you! Where have you been? Did you know the circus is in town? It's Daddy's circus. He says it's gonna be the biggest thing ever. Except he always says stuff like that, and then something goes wrong.
Again, another cinematic that I had to cut something off. It's like, I'm really sorry, guys. I wasn't really planning on having to cut out so much stuff. It's just like I said, this game needs to be fully experienced for its original story. And, I mean, you guys have seen pretty much the kind of puzzles that you can expect in the title. So I don't really want to push it much further than this, simply because, like I said, a big deal about contrast is in regards to the story itself. So you guys have seen the gameplay. You kind of know what to expect from it. The story seems to be really, really solid and very, very engrossing. The thing is, like I said, I am not a fan of this whole cabaret theme. I am not big into the game's art style, but that is a personal preference because I do think that this is a very valid art style and it looks to be very fun if you like this kind of stuff, which just doesn't happen to be my case. As per usual, leave me your comments, feedback, all that kinds of good stuff in the comment section below. In my opinion, this title, if you like what you've seen, more than likely you will enjoy the title itself. Like I said, story is a really big deal. Picking up every single collectible is a really big deal too. And apart from that, I really don't know what else I can tell you in this first impressions video. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.